Hello and welcome along to another episode of The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's Season 5, Episode 7, and today we've got a massive doubleheader in the Northern Irish Cup quarter-final against Larne, and then at home to Portadown in the league, where if all results go our way, we could wrap up our third trophy of the season, ahead of rivals Ballymena United. As you can see, we're still unbeaten in the league. We've got the most goals scored here, the least conceded, but we've got some bad, good and indifferent news to go across before we play our doubleheader today. So the first is the bad news. Our board have cancelled the opportunity for us to become professional next year. We no longer have that chance, so it means we're going to be semi-pro next season if we're staying here. But what we have got is improvements to the training and new facilities coming. So they're spending that Europa League money on the infrastructure of the club, which we can't complain about. So we'll see how things pan out there, and I guess it depends on what job offers come up. And if we can win these other two trophies, it will almost certainly increase our reputation even more than it already has. So if we go and have a look, we're still marked as none because we haven't got a coaching badge yet, but we've moved up to nearly 1.5 stars now, which I guess in 5 seasons is pretty impressive, to be honest. We're not even 5 seasons yet, so in a few months' time, hopefully we'll be more than ready to move on to our next step up and maybe get 1 or 2 more seasons in as a decent team in a more reputable league. We've also got a couple of transfers to talk about, so if we go and have a look at those. There were a couple towards the end of January after our last episode. Our director of football was spending money again, 12,500 this time to Dungannon for Mhairi. So if we have a look at him, he is going to be absolutely brilliant, this kid. He's 3.5 star current ability, 5 star potential central midfielder, already good enough to be in the first 11. And I mean, just look at him, he's got a good personality, he's left footed, which probably helps as well. He's got a great first touch, he's good technically, which we don't see that often, and he's also fairly good mentally for a young player as well, so I have no doubts he's going to be absolutely brilliant. And all these great young signings just make me a little bit disappointed that we started this save so late this season, because if we have 4 or 5 more years we could take this club a long way, but unfortunately that's not the case. What we will do is, obviously, as I've mentioned before, we're going to have a bonus 2 episodes this weekend, so we can make sure we squeeze in another season at least, and then I'll try and play another full season off camera and give an update as to how it's gone, if we're still here, that is. If not, and we've moved on next summer, it will entirely depend on how things go there. But don't forget, there will be the bonus episodes on Saturday and Sunday. If we go back and look at our other signing, he's a bit more of a pointless one. Kevin Harrison, he's another one of these youngsters, 2 star ability, 3 star potential, a decent winger, but he's never going to make it. There's 3 or 4 ahead of him in the pecking order already, so we're going to have to put up with him just staying here until his contract's gone. Again, he's on non-contract terms, so he'll get bored eventually and leave, so there's no problems with that. But that signing of Clucas just rounds off a brilliant season from our director of football, and we're really proud of what he's done for us so far. Lastly, before we look at our previous results, we also had our youth intake just yesterday. We have got some absolute gems in here. So if we go and have a look at some of the players around here, we'll have a look at all of them in ability order. Here they are. I mean, they're a really good side. Ignore the couple that are in the under-18s already. But we've got 2 real standout players in Scott Mhairi. He's a leader centre midfielder. The problem with our head of youth development is they're all coming in with this unambitious personality. But he still looks a decent prospect, and at 16 he could well become a star for the club. And there's also Ben McGrath, a centre half. Again, 1.5 star ability, 4.5 star potential. Again, unfortunately has that unambitious personality, which we will tutor once he joins us permanently. But he's got all the attributes, and it's just a case of getting that personality sorted. He can cover at right and left back and in the holding role, so he'd be a real asset for the club long term. We've got a couple of others with 1.5 star ability already, but they haven't got quite as much potential. We'll have a quick look at Jamie Grant, just because he's got more of the 2. He's a good finisher, but he hasn't got much else, and again, unambitious, unfortunately. So before our 2 big games, let's go and quickly see what's happened since you were last with me. The last episode we obviously had a big doubleheader. We played at home to Linfield in the league, where we were a bit disappointing in a draw, but then we comfortably beat Warren Point in the final of the Bet McLean Cup to get our 2nd trophy of the season, and we're well on our way for 3 and 4 as we go into our doubleheader today. So let's have a quick look at the games. We beat Warren Point the following game, again in the league, 3-1, all 3 strikers scored, Burke off the bench, the other 2 from the start. We then won away to today's opponents, Larne, 3-1 in the league. Burke and McManus again with the goals there. McMahon picked up a knock and missed a game or 2 after that. Ballymena United, again a comfortable win, 2-0. This is the one that pretty much sealed the league for us, built that big gap. We nicked it too. Burns and Miss Kelly, the midfielders, weighing in this time. Before we beat Portadown in the Irish Cup 6th round. Paul Smith with a brace in that game coming into the side on the right. And McManus nicked one as well. We beat Glentoran 3-0 at home in the following league game. Marty Klukas getting off the mark for the club with a brace in that one. McStravick also getting his first goal since his return in January. Against Crusaders, the current champions in real life, we drew 1-1. Gavin White, who's of course moved to England with Oxford now and been scoring for Northern Ireland's national team, he scored the goal against us. He's not rated too well on this, but Aaron Burns got an early goal to ensure we were still unbeaten. And then we just about held our unbeaten run against bottom side Carrick in the last game. They've caused us all sort of problems in the away games. The two we've played against them, we've really struggled. We've been absolutely outplayed. But McMahon and Harkin get us the draw. If we go and look at the table, we're 6 games away from going the whole season unbeaten. The league splits a bit like Scotland after this game, and then we play the top 6 again. We will have to prioritise the Northern Irish Cup, so we might play a few of the younger players in the league, and unfortunately we may lose a game as a result. You can see Danny Burke's almost the top scorer. He's one of the best rated players in the league alongside Burns, and he's got the most man of the matches as well, Aaron Burns. Johns is streets ahead of everyone else in the clean sheets, and Stephen Dooley has been creating assists galore and is second in the league as a result. So I'll just get through to match day now. We've had our youth intake, and we'll be back in a minute for the Cup quarter-final against Larne. Okay, we're back for the first of this doubleheader, the Irish Cup quarter-final against Larne. We're heavy favourites for it. We're unbeaten in our last 5 games, and our last 35 for that matter. So let's get straight into this one. The line-up for today, we got Chris Johns in goal as usual. The back 4 of Kane, who's been rested recently to give McKnight a run in the team, but he's back for the big game as the captain. McKellany, McManus and Conlon make up the rest of the back 4, with Stevenson still cup-tied. Dooley and Burns on the wings with Miss Kelly and Harkin in the middle. The same for Klukas, cup-tied already. And up front we've got McManus and McMahon. We've got a slightly weaker bench than normal due to players being cup-tied as well. But let's get straight into this one and see if we can get a win. Okay, 2 teams playing a 4-4-2. That's normally a good sign. I said we'd struggled against Carrick, and that's because they play this weird 3-5-2 with a holding midfielder. I used to play it with Sunderland about 3 or 4 years ago in FM15 or 16, and it worked an absolute treat in terms of getting results. But they're just so hard to break down, and they were creating chances galore, and you know that I can't cope against anything other than a 4-4-2. The early running's gone nowhere, but Larne have an attacking throw in now, so they've got the ball in the middle about 40 yards out. McAlevey to Carson, can we hold this off and get on the counter? It's a good block, but they've had a long shot from distance and it's a mile wide. Goal kick to Coleraine and Johns hits it long. McMahon loses out in the air, but Harkin's got in on the halfway line. Dooley on the right hand side, long ball down the line, but no one's getting there. Again, because of the rubbish stadium we're in, unfortunately we cut off the line on the right hand side, but I'm not changing the view from the realistic point. The old Steve McLaren point in the first half, sitting in the stand. McMahon's got the ball on the left side of the box now, back to Harkin, knocked down for Dooley, and it's a great save to tip it wide. Corner for us. Can we get the early breakthrough? Taken by Miss Kelly, but it's knocked away really easily. And unfortunately, that's going to be the end of that attack. But Kane's going to mop it up, and we're still going. But the highlight ends, and it's still 0-0. We've got it straight again, though. Harkin in the middle of the pitch after a couple of knockdowns. Into McMahon. McManus with the challenge. McMahon again. Just wide, and it's still 0-0. Here we go, then. It's been chances galore so far. 6 minutes in. We're on our 4th or 5th highlight already. Conlon with the ball back to McManus. Long ball over the top for McMahon. He's got McManus in the middle if he can deliver. He can't. He goes back to Burns, and that's slowed it down a bit. But he's found McMahon again. A lovely ball to Harkin, and he gets across his shot and slices it wide. And it's still remarkably 0-0 despite our early dominance. It's just calmed down a bit now, and we're nearly 20 minutes in, but now Larne have won it back in the box. McManus heads away, but we can't be making mistakes like that. Carson to Mhairi on the edge, and he shoots wide. We got away with a mistake at the back there. That's a little bit complacent, but straight away we've got a set piece. Miss Kelly into the box. He's headed away easily. Conlon's got the ball near halfway, finds Harkin. He's got a bit of time and space to look for Burns on the left. Burns tries to shoot instead of crossing, and unfortunately it's a long way over. Still 0-0. We can't find this breakthrough yet, despite being the only team to have shots on target. McMahon finds Harkin. We've got another attack building now. Into McManus, turns on the edge, has the shot. Collar makes a good save and gathers at the second attempt. He's going to clear it long upfield here. Will he go long? It will. Straight up to McKellany, but Harkin wins it back. Warnock's got the ball for them. Are they going to build their first attack here? They've got a chance to get a shot on target if they haven't already, and now they're bringing it forward across the middle and just slowing the game down a little bit. Carson to Stewart, and we've got to be careful here. We don't want to undo all of our hard work because we need to win this quadruple. These are two competitions we expect to win, and probably the two most reputable competitions we were expected to win at the start. Miss Kelly with a lovely long ball over the top. McManus into McMahon, and there we go, just like that on the counter. We're 1-0 up. Miss Kelly with a fantastic 50-yard ball over on the right. McManus brilliantly gets in behind and delivers. You can tell he can cover out on the wing as well. And McMahon deadly in the 6-yard box as always. And it's 1-0 to Coleraine. But they're coming straight forward on the edge here. Mhairi forces a brilliant save from Johns. And we just let our guard slip there for a minute, having gone 1-0 up. But thankfully we've managed to make the save. The corner will come in and the danger's by no means over yet. McKellany heads away, but it's straight back to the corner taker. Delivers well, but the highlight ends before we get to see what happens. But it's Larne again with the throw-in on the right. Mhairi to Whiteside. Carson's got the ball for them. They're being forced backwards at the moment, but they're building up nicely. Stewart on the edge to McDonald. It was a really good chance, but he's put it a long way over. And we've got to be a bit worried that they're getting in now. 5 minutes to half time. They've got the throw on the left. Dooley gets into interception in. It's been cleared away though. Miss Kelly out to Burns. Burns finds Harkin, and we've got time here. McManus, he can slip in Dooley. He doesn't, but he crosses to the back stick, and Aaron Burns taps it in. A second assist of the day for McManus with a lovely cross, and Burns at the back post just smashes it in from 5 yards. And we're 2-0 up, and it looks like we're well en route for the semi-final. We'll start to have a look in the second half at who else is going to be there. Harkin's got it on the edge, a chance to make it 3, but he puts it over. And at half time, it looks like it's going to still be 2-0. With just a minute or so to go. We can see Cliftonville and Crusaders are winning already. Ballymena United, you'd expect them to get through in the top game there. So it looks like it's going to be 4 of the biggest teams in the semis. We've got one last chance before half time. It's fallen to Miss Kelly on halfway. Finds Burns on the left, tries to get it in behind, but lays it off to Harkin. McMahon to McManus, and his shot's awful. I think he needs to stick to the crossing for this one. It's half time now, and it's 2-0 to Coleraine, and we're well on our way to the semi-final of the Irish Cup. Let's give them the team talk then. We want them to prove a point. We don't want them getting complacent. We don't want them giving this away. We've got the kick-off. McManus to McKellany. Returns the ball long over the top. And this highlight's going to end fairly quickly, I'd assume, as Larne hoof it long as well. We've got a free kick on the edge just a minute into the second half. But Miss Kelly puts it over, and unfortunately it will stay 2-0 as a result. They're coming down the right-hand side, and we've got to be careful. We don't want to give them a route back into this game. McDonald on the right with a cross. McKellany heads away, and Burns can counter. McMahon leaves us 2-on-2 up top. He's into the box. Can he go alone? He's made the interception before. He could have laid it across to McManus, but he's tried to be greedy, and Larne have defended well. But McMahon again with the ball to the edge to Harkin, and the shot saved. It is all action this game. Highlight after highlight, and an hour gone, it's still 2-0. We've got a free kick again with Harkin into the box. We'll make the changes in a minute. Burns on the edge, tries to lay it off, but it's been intercepted. McManus has made an awful mistake there. I don't even know what happened. He tried to control it and then just stood there until the man intercepted. But luckily Larne shoot from distance again, and it's an awful finish. We're going to think about changes in a second. We're just 22 minutes left. As I mentioned before the game, the bench is a bit weaker due to our lack of subs. Our 4 cup tie players were struggling a bit. But McManus with the ball on the right. He finds Kane. Kane back to McKellany. Can we build another attack with Miss Kelly to Harkin? Harkin's lost it in the middle again. I'm starting to get frustrated by that. And Larne couldn't get in thanks to an awfully overhit ball. Big kick up pitch by Johns. Finding McMahon. McMahon's lost out, but it's fallen to Miss Kelly. Harkin in behind to McMahon. Can he make it 3? Oh, it was a lovely place finish, but it was just wide of the post, unfortunately. McMahon is going to get a rest now for Danny Burke. We're going to take Miss Kelly off for Ashley Patterson, who deserves a run out. I don't know which one of them's better in the holding role. We're going to actually play Harkin there and see what that works out like. And Dooley on the right is going to be replaced with Paul Smith, the newer signing from January. Here we go then. They've got a goal kick, with 5 minutes to go. They hit it long up pitch. Can we just hold on comfortably now? Burns to Harkin, who's now in a holding role. Patterson the sub. Long ball up to Burke's intercepted, but it falls straight for Patterson again. And he tries to find the same ball and he gets the same result. Harkin to Patterson. 3rd time lucky it is. Burke brings it down. Burns on the left wing. Can he get the cross? And he can't. Conlon lays it off to Harkin. Harkin across to Patterson. We're just keeping the ball with Burke on the edge. Falls to McManus. One touch and shoot. What a finish that is. top corner, underside of the bar and in, and McManus, after 2 brilliant assists in this game, rounds off his performance with a goal, and it's 3-0, and we thoroughly deserve to be going through. Ballymena United are ahead now, so it's the 3 opponents in the hat we expected, and really from there on a one-off game it's anyone's day, because they could win it. Any team could beat us on their day, and we could beat them all comfortably if we're at our best. We've got a free kick in stoppage time now with Kane. Long ball up to Burke. Doesn't win it. And Larne have got a chance to nick a consolation goal in the last 30 seconds. Davison to Mhairi. Mhairi to McDonald. Into Stewart. Stewart's going to get it wide. He doesn't. He goes back. And they're just playing out the game now. We're more than happy with this. They've played it backwards and it's going to be 3-0. They're building nothing here with Carson. He's trying to bring it down the right, but they're just keeping the ball. Stewart's got it on the edge now, and it's all over. We've won comfortably, 3-0. McManus was the standout man with 2 assists and a goal, but overall it was a really solid performance across the board. We've got a few of our youngsters a game, and we've been more than happy with a 3-0 comfortable win. You can see the 3 other big teams are in the hat. We'll be back in a minute for our league game, where hopefully we can wrap up the title if all things go our way. Okay, we're back for the game that could wrap up the title for us. It's us against Portadown, and Ballymena United are playing elsewhere. Let's see who they're playing. They're playing at Warren Point, so you'd expect them to win, but if they don't and we take advantage, we could be the title winners by the end of this match. We could be treble winners by the end of this match. You can see we've also drawn Ballymena United in the Irish Cup semi-final, so that's going to be a big tense derby game, that one. But let's have a look at the team for today. Back to full strength in the league. The only injury we've got is Kevin McMahon since the last game, so Danny Burke's in for him. But otherwise in goal we've got Chris Johns, who's just been called up for the Northern Ireland senior team. A back four of Kane, McKellany, McManus and Stevenson. Dooley and Burns on the wings with Clucas back in the middle alongside Miss Kelly. And McManus and Danny Burke up front. McStravik's back to fitness and is on the bench for this one. But other than that, we're close to full strength. So let's go and see if we can win the title. Okay, Portadown are playing that formation we hate, the same one that Carrick were playing. So we'll just go out as normal for now, but we may have to adapt. We'll pick up where we left off. We know we can become champions. We're just going to keep focused on the game. Don't worry about all the media surroundings. There's actually a few fans in this stadium today, so there must be something happening as Burns early crosses block for a throw and the highlight ends. It doesn't end. We've got Stevenson with it on the left. Miss Kelly on the edge of the box. Ball back to the edge to Clucas, and that would have been the perfect start. But it's been saved down to his left by the Portadown keeper. 2 minutes gone, and we've had the first chance of the match. We've got a free kick from the right with Miss Kelly in towards the back post. Burke with the header, but it's just over. But unfortunately, it's still 0-0 here and at Ballymena United away at Warren Point as well. Kane with a throw-in on the right to McManus. Kane crosses in towards Burns. It's headed away. Miss Kelly to Burns. Third time. Can he cross to Burke? There we go. We've done our bit. We've got the lead already. Danny Burke, despite only being rated as a 2-star player, he has signed a new contract with us, but it's on non-contract terms. So our director of football's not done us the best there, but he's put us 1-0 up, and we're on our way to the title. McManus, edge of the box back to Connor, into the left to Clucas, crosses in, is knocked away, but Miss Kelly on the edge, poor pass, and now they're in one-on-one from the corner kick. They'd be absolutely sickening to concede from that, but fortunately they put it wide, and Warren Point are ahead. Nearly 20 minutes gone. Warren Point are 1-0 up, and we're 1-0 up. And as it stands, we are title winners. Burns on the left. Stevenson, can we make it 2? Miss Kelly to Burns again, into McManus. Knocks it down for Burke. Great strike first time, but it's saved down to his left by the Portadown keeper. It's relentless attacking highlights now. Dooley on the right down to McManus. He's never getting there. Kearney's made a meal of it in the left corner. He's cleared it away, but only as far as Miss Kelly. Dooley on the right-hand side. Can he get the cross in? It's blocked. He knocks it down again for Clucas, though. Clucas to Burns, but he's lost out in that attempt. And now it's a counter-attack for Portadown. We can't concede. He's got it on the edge, but Kane with a great tackle. I've been playing McKnight in the league games for a long time, but not in this one. One more, if we wrap it up, McKnight can play the rest of the season. It's been headed away, but Miss Kelly brings it down the left to Burns. There's been almost exclusive highlights here as McManus heads it straight at the keeper. And finally we get a pause. Well, it's certainly calmed down a bit. We've got all the way to stoppage time without another highlight, but Miss Kelly puts the cross in, headed away to the edge. If we can make it 2, it would be the perfect time. Clucas again. Dooley on the edge, he's put it wide enough, just seen in the bottom corner. Warren Point have gone 2-0 up. The title is certainly coming here, and at half-time we're 1-0 up, and Warren Point are doing us a massive favour as they have a 2-0 lead. We'll tell the boys not to get complacent and we just want to hold on here. If we can have a highlight-free second half, I'd be absolutely delighted. Long ball up from Portadown to Hamilton. We just need to keep it solid here. Downey into McElroy, but what a challenge by Kane, and the highlight ends at still 1-0 to us. We'll get moving down so we can see that Warren point score as we go along. They missed a penalty in that one as well. They could have been 3-0 up. We've got a highlight on the right. Dooley to Clucas from the throw-in into Burns. He's lost out, but he won it back again for Kane. Clucas on the edge of the box. What a shot, but he's straight at the keeper. His left foot is a wand, but unfortunately the keeper saves it. We're well past the hour mark now. We're going to start thinking about subs. Warren Point are still 2-0 up. We're still comfortable at 1-0. We've got to think about freshening things up. There's a couple of young players who are a bit nervous, so we might bring on some more experience in a minute. But Johns has got a long kick up to McManus. Loses out in the air, but Dooley mops up. Miss Kelly to Clucas. Long ball up to Burke, who holds it up well, but he's lost out the second time. McManus nearly got beaten, but just about headed it away. Burns with the left-hand side cross. Headed away straight back to him now on the edge. To McManus. Back to Clucas on the edge. Into Dooley, who's put it wide. And 72 minutes gone. We're going to make some subs. Clucas is nervous, so we'll bring on the experienced Harkin, who's about 25, I think. 26, so we need his experience in there. We're going to bring Smith on the right for Dooley, who's had a fairly poor game, and McManus, who's not been great either, with McStravick coming back from injury for 15 minutes. Let's see what those changes do for us. We're not going to bring on the two young right wingers. Burke's got a cross in on the left, headed away, but only as far as Lyndon Kane. Finds Smith, the sub, on the right. Crosses to Burke at the back post. Burke hits the post. He'd beaten the keeper, but he couldn't beat the post. And it's still 1-0, but McStravick now, as another attack comes. An awful challenge for a man already on a yellow for Portadown. Surely this is going to be a red card and they'll be down to 10. And if that happens, they can only see the title going one way today. Warren Point have had an injury, but they're still 2-0 up. They are against 10 men now, so Harkin's got the ball on the edge. Burns can get a delivery, and we've got that extra man if we need it. And he switches to Smith, who's got acres of space as a result. Into Burns, and it's 3-0. Winger for winger. Great cross in for Smith. Burns gets his second in 2 games, and we are 2-0 up, and the title race is over. We're going to win it before the league splits. We're going to maintain our unbeaten season, and we could yet be invincibles. Burke gets it to Harkin 30 yards out. It's all us now. Harkin with a wild shot, and it's a long way wide. We're not going to be adding to that lead, but we're not going to complain at this point. To be champions before the league even splits with 5 games to go is a fantastic achievement. Our rivals have been knocked down to 3rd, and this could not have gone any better as we're going to wrap up the treble. And we've got all that focus now on the Northern Irish Cup as we go into stoppage time. We can rest players in the league and save for those 2 monster cup games. 4 minutes of stoppage time to see out, and we will be champions. Kane with a cross on the right. McStravick's got it from a 1-2 into Burns. He's headed away, but only as far as Miss Kelly, who shoots. But that's an awful shot. Long way high and wide, but I won't have any complaints at this point. 1 minute of the stoppage time to see out. A long kick by Portadown. Doesn't even matter if they score at this point, but we'd obviously prefer a clean sheet. Stevenson switches to Smith. Harkin can bring it forward. If we could put some gloss on it, that would be great. McStravick challenged, is intercepted. He's been a bit slow. He's looked unfit, to be fair. Burns has got the ball into McStravick at the back post. He can keep it in. No, he can't. It's a goal kick, and that will just about be that once it's taken. Here we go then. We're just waiting for the whistle so we can start the party. The game's over. We are champions. Warren Point got their 3rd. Here's the ceremony. I can't actually see. Oh, there we have got the trophy. It's blended into the background there. What a result. I'm there in my suit for the 3rd time, and we have won the Northern Irish Premier League at the first attempt. A 4th in a row for Coleraine, but 3 trophies, including one the club hadn't won for about 30 years. It's been a fantastic season, and surely that will help our reputation. There's the confirmation. 17 points clear with 5 games to go. The league split doesn't even matter at this point, but to point out Linfield are in the bottom half is a huge story. They've had an awful season. We'll just go and look at what's been said. Completed the treble. The Bandsiders, our nickname. I've only just learnt that today. We've clinched the title. Brilliant performance all round. We've entered the Northern Ireland Hall of Fame for 3 trophies. So let's have a look at where we are. We're 9th in the list. We've got 21 points, and if we could win the Northern Irish Cup, you'd like to think we'd be a bit closer there. So that's a fantastic start for us. The Northern Irish Charity Shield unfortunately doesn't count towards it, but the 2 trophies already there, and if we can add the Northern Irish Cup, it'll be a wonderful season for us. Consecutive wins, as we mentioned before. The club have won it 4 in a row now. We'll leave that for a minute. We'll talk about our press conference in the next episode. Burns is doing brilliantly. We'll give him a bit of praise for his performance, for the quality of the chances. And we've seen about the next stage following the split. We play the rest of the top six in dead rubbers, which we'll play off camera, give our youth players a chance. And we'll hopefully be back in the next episode with a double header. Firstly, the Northern Irish Cup semi-final against Ballymena United. And then if we get through, we'll skip straight through to the final before our end of season review. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always. Let me know your thoughts on our treble winning team and the players we've got at the club and the achievement we've made. Will we be able to get a move in the summer, or would you like to see us stay here for one more year and try and get into Europe and win the Iron Brew Cup? Please add a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. Subscribe to the channel for regular Football Manager content from this head coach series every Monday to Thursday at 4:30 until the release of the FM19 beta, as well as bonus episodes this Saturday and Sunday at the same time, where we're doing our long-term career with Crew Alexandra as we go from the bottom to the top there. Big thanks for watching again, and we'll see you tomorrow.